Happy Christmas. Welcome back to the Watford Way. And today, for a bit of a different video here on Christmas Day, we're going to be taking part in a few Watford FC quizzes to test my knowledge to see if I'm a fake fan. Maybe I'm a Luton fan in disguise, who knows. But yes, we're going to be testing my Watford knowledge today. And here you can see we're going to start by testing my knowledge on recent Watford managers up to the year of 2022. So, to get this quiz correct, I have to order them essentially when they were appointed. So I've got to get each manager right. They're scoring me out of 10, obviously from June 2015 to 2022. So to start with, June 2015 to May 2016. That's pretty simple, of course. Quique Sanchez-Flores, that first season up, back in the Premier League. He has to go in that first slot. July 2016 to May 2017. I remember this quite clearly as well. A very dull and dismal season for Watford FC, actually, under a really terrible manager in Walter Mazzarri. Watford only just managing to get away from that relegation battle on the final day. So I'm 99% sure it is Walter Mazzarri. I was there throughout the entire season, so I remember how boring the football was. So there we go. We've got Quique, Walter Mazzarri, May 2017 to January 2018. I think that is Marco Silva, who obviously got tapped up by Everton. Marco Silva is very well complemented by the majority of Watford players who played under him. Actually, Troy Deeney is always very positive about his time at the club, and he said that Marco Silva was the best tactical manager he'd ever played under. And we had a fantastic start to the season, actually. I remember Watford, I'm sure, were up right near the Champions League places for a few weeks or so under Marco Silva, and then Everton came along and it kind of all went wrong, really. So, yeah, so far, I think I am absolutely correct. We've got Quique, Walter Mazzarri, and Marco Silva. I think it'll get a bit difficult after July 2020. I think I will get them all correct, don't worry, but my memory isn't fantastic. January 2018 to September 2019. Now, I'm looking at them dates and I'm going, well, Watford were in the FA Cup final, which only means one man, and that is Javi Gracia, probably, you know, the most likable guy we've ever had in charge of Watford. He loved drinking sangria, of course, from his home country in Spain, and that FA Cup run was absolutely fantastic. So Javi Gracia goes into that slot. Moving down, September to December 2019. Well, firstly, I have to say the decision Watford took to sack Javi very early on into that season was absolutely crazy. And we all know what happened then. Quique Sanchez-Flores returned for that second spell. It went disastrously wrong. I think, actually, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think that is when Watford had that 8-0 loss to Man City. I think we were down 5 or 6-0 within about 22 minutes of football. So, yeah, that was quite a funny game, actually. Well, not funny at the time, but now looking back in hindsight, it was quite funny. So, yeah, September to December 2019, I am pretty sure that is the second spell of Quique Sanchez-Flores. He couldn't quite live up to his first spell at the club, where he had the likes of Alman Abdi, Troy Deeney, Odi Nagalo. Yeah, his second spell was a bit of a disaster. December 2019 to July 2020. Again, this quiz is actually quite easy now I'm looking at it, because the dates are quite easy to work out who was in charge. So December 2019 to July 2020. That would have been Nigel Pearson, because I was there. I'm sure many of you guys were there as well. We stopped Liverpool nearly going unbeaten for the entirety of that season. We beat them 3-0 at Vicarage Road. Ismail Assar at the double that day. Troy Deeney scoring a great goal as well. So that will be Nigel Pearson, who was actually posted in the last few days that he's still recovering from his health issues. So I do wish Nigel Pearson well for the future. Number 7, August to December 2020. So let me just think. This is during COVID. There was no fans in the stadium, and it would have been our promotion season. Unfortunately, in that promotion season, we started with, again, a bit like Walter Mazzari, a very kind of passive-aggressive manager in Vladimir Ivic. He didn't like talking to the media. He was very... well, he barely cracked a smile, really, did he? He always looks very angry. So yeah, I'm pretty sure in that slot, oh, I've put him in the wrong thing there. That's swapping them around. So Nigel Pearson goes there. And then Vladimir Ivic goes into slot number 7. Let's scroll down a bit more here. We've got 8, 9, and 10 still to complete. This one's very easy. Obviously, after Vladimir Ivic, Watford got promoted under the lovely, smiley, happy guy in Xisco Munoz. So Xisco Munoz can go into slot number 8. After Xisco, October 2021 to January 2022. So obviously we gave Xisco, I think 4 or 5 games in that first season back, promoted to the Premier League. Gino didn't like what he saw. So yeah, we made a change. I'm just going to see who our options are left. And yeah, okay, this is pretty easy now. So, in slot number 9, I think we have to go with Claudio Ranieri. And then in slot number 10, we have to go with Roy Hodgson. So, that is the completed quiz. Let's see if I've got all of them correct. Submit my answers. What's happening here? Your answer, oh, here we go. It's taking us through. It's giving us a little bit of detail on each manager. That's correct. That's correct. I'm pretty sure these are all correct. Let's just scroll through right to the end. And yeah, there we go. 10 out of 10. Well done, Jim Bob. Yeah, I got 10 out of 10 managers there. I'm sure you guys did as well. And yeah, let's get on to the next quiz. Right, I found another quiz on a website called footballtrivia.com. So I have no idea what this quiz is going to contain. I'm going in entirely blind, and we're going to see how I do on this Watford quiz. It says, do you know everything about the Hornets, or will this quiz have a sting in the tail? Very funny. Take our 20 Watford quiz questions to see if you can claim the silverware. Now, just a caveat, I need you guys to remember I am quite a young guy. If they ask me questions about Watford in the early 2000s, I was probably, well, I was 5 or 6 years old, you know, back in 2005, 2006, that kind of time. So I do apologise if my lack of knowledge around that area is poor, but I will do my best, I can assure you. So let's get into this Watford quiz and see how we do. So let's click kick off. And here we go. Question 1 of 20. Hopefully you guys can see that all right there. Let me just move that down slightly. There we go. In August 2021, Troy Deeney left Watford after playing in excess of 400 games. How many goals did he score for the club? Oh, these are interesting questions. Okay, so August 2021, Troy Deeney left playing in excess of 400 games. I don't think it's well, oh, this is hard actually. I don't think it's 210. I don't think it's 175. I'm actually going to go on the lower end here. I think it's probably 140. I think Luther Blissett scored something like 180 or 190. And I think Deeney scored 50 Premier League goals. And obviously we have to take into account cup competitions as well. But I'm going to go on the lower end. I think I'm going to go with 140. And I got that right, yes. Interesting stuff. Deeney left for Birmingham City, the club he supported since childhood. So, yes, first question, get in. I got it right. Brilliant stuff. Let's go on to the next one. Which famous singer and lifelong Watford supporter became the chairman in 1976? Could you imagine if I got this wrong? I mean, Freddie Mercury, Paul McCartney, Boy George. Could you imagine if I just randomly clicked one of them? No, it definitely is Sir Elton John. Thank you very much. And as it says there, Sir Elton guided Watford to the First Division under Graham Taylor by 1981 for the first time. Next question. Watford lost in the FA Cup final to Manchester City in 2019. What was the score? Well, I was there. Firstly, I have to say the day out up until kickoff was absolutely fantastic. But the score, I always actually get this wrong. Funnily enough, I always get this wrong. I always think it was 6-0 for some reason, but I think it was 5-0 in the end on the day. Watford could have scored in the game if Roberto Pereira had chipped Edison in the City goal, but I think, and I'm pretty sure, it ended 5-0 to the Blues. I got it wrong? Really? It wasn't 6. Was it 6-0? I'm sure it was 5-0. Wow. Let's try again. So let's go 6-0. And it was. Wow. I'm sure it was 5-0. I'm sure it was. Well, we're going to have to assume the quiz is correct. But yeah, there you go. And as it says, Watford made it to the final after beating Wolves in the semi-final 3-2 after extra time. Next question. In April 2021, Watford secured promotion back to the Premier League after a 1-0 victory at which ground? Now, I remember this because I did a watch long here in the Watford Way. I'm sure it was Vicarage Road because we beat Millwall. I think it was Millwall we beat 1-0. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. Hopefully I don't get this wrong. It was, yes. And as they said there, Watford secured second place in the Championship after beating Millwall at home. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I was doing a watch long here in the Watford Way during the very early days of this YouTube channel where no one was really interested. So yeah, good stuff. Good memories actually as well. This is very easy again. Question 5 of 20. Which Crystal Palace player was signed from Watford in 2021 and has played for England under 21s 23 times? Well, Watford have never had Conor Gallagher or Jack Butland on our books. So I think we can all agree this one is going to be William Hughes, who signed for Watford back in 2021. We signed for Palace in 2021. Sorry, let me just clarify that. Yeah, it's a shame to see Will Hughes go, actually. A fantastic midfielder, very tenacious, still doing well at Palace now, actually. I watched him against Arsenal just a few days ago in the Carabao Cup, and he still put in a very good performance there. So, yeah, if you offered Will Hughes back to me now, I would absolutely take him at Vicarage Road. Question 6 of 20. I'm still gutted about that Man City question. I'm going to check afterwards, actually, because I'm sure it was 5-0. Maybe I'm just deluded. Who knows? Very easy. The Hornets. Yeah, simple question that. What is Watford's nickname? Watford were founded in 1881 and aligned with prior club Watford Rovers. Of course, Watford were never called Watford FC. We were originally called Watford Rovers. Question 7 of 20. Adam Messina has been a Watford regular since he signed for the club. Well, you can see this quiz was clearly before this current season we're playing in now. What national team does he represent? I'm pretty sure it's Morocco. I did think Italian just for a moment because I think he played quite a lot of football over in Italy. But I think he's Moroccan, like Imran Louza. I'm sure he is. So we'll go Morocco. Yes, lovely stuff. And it says there actually Messina signed for Watford after a significant stint in Italy with Bologna. So yeah, Adam Messina, a Moroccan international. Oh, these are getting difficult now. Question 8 of 20. Watford striker Troy Deeney is a lifelong Birmingham City fan and has their badge tattooed on his body where? I did know Troy Deeney had this tattoo. I think it's his leg. I think it's his leg. I don't know why. I just have that gut feeling that it's Troy Deeney's leg. So yeah, let's go with leg. Yes, there we go. And yet another fact for you. The powerful striker started his professional career at fellow Midlands club Warsaw. So if I'm correct, have we got every question right so far other than the Man City question? I think that's correct. What's the name of Watford's home stadium? Well, it's not Temple Street. It's definitely not Cathedral Row. It's definitely not Church Lane. And it definitely is Vicarage Road. Could you imagine if I said, right, guys, it's time to walk down Temple Street to go and watch Watford. Right, guys, it's time to go and walk down Cathedral Row to go and watch Watford. No, it's Vicarage Road. So we'll go with Vicarage Road on this one. Absolutely. And the quiz says the Hornets have been playing there for 100 years. And yeah, we actually, a couple of years ago, we celebrated the 100th anniversary of Vicarage Road. I remember that they did a whole match day around it. I think we had some fireworks as well. Yeah, it was pretty fun. But yeah, Vicarage Road, an interesting topic because we did try and move away from there a few seasons ago when we were back in the Premier League. The club were having discussions about moving to a golf club in Bushey, I believe, because that had the adequate amount of land to build a new stadium on. Of course, financially, we're not in that position at the moment, and I'm not sure I'd want to leave Vicarage Road. Actually, I think if we were to do anything to Vicarage Road, I'd much rather see a further extension and another tier maybe put on to the Sir Elton John stand. But yeah, there we go. On to the next question. Oh, God. This is going to get me here. Yeah, we're back in 05, 06. Right, so just to clarify, before you guys shout at me, I was 5 years old at this point. Marlon King scored 21 goals in the promotion season. Yes. Which national team did he represent? I mean, it could be any of them, couldn't it? I mean, I'm just going to go... Again, I'm going to go with my gut feeling here. I don't think it's Montserrat. I don't think it's Cayman Islands. Actually, I think I'm going to go with Jamaica. I'm pretty sure that's right. I think it's probably buried deep inside my brain, but I'll go with Jamaica. And that is correct. Yes, it says Marlon King scored 12 goals in 24 appearances for the Reggae Boys. And Jamaica have some class kits, by the way. If you guys have the money and want to buy some cool looking football kits, get yourself a Jamaica home shirt because, yeah, their kits are top quality. Next question. We're over halfway through now. In 2019, how many managers took control of Watford? Well, this is interesting because we literally just did a different quiz all about Watford managers. So 2019, would it have been two? So we would have had Javi Gracia, of course, in charge for the FA Cup final. And then, actually, no. It's not going to be four managers, is it? So we would have had Javi Gracia. I can't even remember what happened now. So we had Javi Gracia. Oh no, I'm lost. Oh God, I'm screwed. I'm gonna have to go with two. We can't have had four managers in 1 year, surely. Surely that's too far even for Watford. It probably is four actually. I don't know if they're counting interim managers. You see. I think it might be four. I'm going to go with four. Yes. There we go. I'm not an idiot. So yeah, Javi Gracia, Kike Sanchez-Flores, Hayden Mullins. So they counted the caretaker, which the other quiz didn't, and then Nigel Pearson. So yeah, there we go. I got it right in the end. I was just a bit confused because we just did a quiz where they weren't counting caretakers, and now this quiz is. So that kind of messed with my brain. But yeah, there we go. Not too bad going so far. Question 12 of 20. Club legend Luther Blissett made 415 appearances, scoring 148 goals in the Football League. Where was he born? Oh, God. Again, you know, this is going to be difficult. You would assume England. I mean, You would assume so. It's not Jamaica. It's not Trinidad. Yeah, it's definitely England, surely. Well, the thing is, I think the thing is, like, you see it with players nowadays where they're born in a different nation very young, they're brought over to the UK, and then they can obviously represent England, but also being born in a different nation to the country they represent at international level. So I'm probably wrong. I'm just going to go with England. But I mean, it might be Jamaica, to be honest with you. But I'll go with England. Yeah, I got it wrong. It's not Trinidad or Barbados. If it was Barbados, I feel like I would know that. Let's go Jamaica. Yeah. So like Marlon King, yeah, Bliss was born in the Caribbean on the 1st of February 1958. I didn't know that, so we're learning new stuff today. Yeah, I thought he was born in England, but fair enough, I never knew that. He must have come over to the UK quite soon after he was born, I would imagine. But yeah, Luther Blissett born in Jamaica. There we go. You learn something new every day, kiddos, even on Christmas Day as you watch this video. Next question. Which former Watford and Burnley player was given the accolade of Britain's brainiest footballer in 2002? I mean, this is difficult. I mean, what? How am I meant to get this? I was 1 year old at this point, guys. Which former Watford and Burnley player? When I read that, I thought it was going to be about Andre Gray. I don't know. Mike Phelan's never played for Watford, has he? I don't know. This is going to be a pot guess. I'm going to go with Adrian Heath. No. Tony Morley? No. I don't know. What's the answer? Oh, it's not actually going to tell us. Maybe we'll find out at the end of the quiz. Question 14 of 20. Excuse me. Which of these clubs have Watford not loaned Cucho out to? So they're obviously referencing Cucho Hernandez there. So Cucho, he definitely played for Huesca. He definitely played for Mallorca. And I think he played for Getafe as well. So... And I don't ever remember Cucho Hernandez playing for Udinese before he joined Watford, because usually what would happen is Cucho would have played for Udinese and then signed for Watford from them, but I never remember that happening. I'm sure Cucho signed for us from, it was either Mallorca or Huesca. So I'm going to go with which of these clubs have Watford not loaned him to. I'm going to go with Udinese. I think that's a pretty safe bet. And yes, it says here the Colombian's been back and forth to Spain, but never to Italy. There we go. My logic was correct. I'm not an idiot, guys. I am not an idiot. Question 15 of 20, coming to the end of this Watford quiz now. As of January 2022, how many teams has Josh King played for in England? January 2022. Right. Let's think about this. So... I mean, I don't know a lot about Josh King. So he played for Watford, so that's 1. He played for Bournemouth, so that's 2. He signed for Watford when he was about, I think he was 27 or 28. It may have been 29, actually, when he signed for Watford. So he would have had a few clubs behind him. And obviously, he was at Bournemouth for a very, very long time as well. So I would imagine... the answer probably isn't 9, because that seems a bit too high. I think Josh King's actually out in Turkey at the moment. But as of January 2022, how many teams has he played for? I'm going to go... it's a toss-up between 4 and 6 for me. I'm going to go with... I'll say 6. He was at Bournemouth for a long time. I'll go 4. I'm going to go 4. Oh, no. 6? Yes, there you go. And it actually lists him here. King has represented, quite a lot of clubs, actually. Preston, Hull City, Blackburn, Bournemouth, Everton, and Watford. He started out at Manchester United. Ah, yes, I remember that actually, but never made a appearance for the Red Devils. So yeah, an interesting career there for Josh King. And I remember actually he scored that hat-trick for Watford against Everton. I think the game ended 5-2 in Watford's favour in the end. That was a really entertaining match actually. But yeah, there you go. Some information there on Josh King. As I said, you learn something new every day. You learn something new every single day. Question 16 of 20. What is the name of Watford's mascot? They throw in a few difficult questions, and then it gets a bit easier. This is a hard one. Wally the Wasp. Bertie the Bee. Well, we're not called the Bees and we're not called the Wasps, but there we go. Freddy the Fly, absolutely not. It's our good old friend, Harry the Hornet. Thank you very much. Next question. 17 of 20. Which former England manager spent 15 years at Watford in 2 spells from 1977 to 87 and 1996 to 2001? Very easy. A complete legend at Watford. He's got a statue outside the ground. It's Graham Taylor. And he also served as Watford chairman, the quiz says, between 2009 and 2012. He also has a stand named after him as well, which I sit in. I sit in the Graham Taylor stand. So, yeah, his Watford legacy certainly does live on. Just a few questions left to go until we find out our results. I think what the quiz does is they award you 3 points for a correct question, for a correct answer straight away. I think it's 1 point for an answer after you've got one wrong, and then it's 0 points if you get it entirely incorrect. I think that's how the scoring system works. You can see up here, 13, 3, and 1 entirely incorrect. In 2006-07, which goalkeeper was awarded Watford's Player of the Season? Well, it wasn't David James, it wasn't Gomez. My knowledge is quite bad here. I mean, I should know this really. Was Ben Foster on loan at that point? I feel like Alec Chamberlain, no disrespect to him, but I feel like he's probably too old now to have played at that time. He must be in his 50s now, Alec Chamberlain, I would suspect. So I would imagine it's Ben Foster. I'm sure it was, because he come along with the likes of like Ashley Young, Tom Cleverley. They all kind of joined in that initial like Manchester United cohort, if you will. So yeah, I'll go Ben Foster. And yeah, I'm absolutely right. Foster was on loan at the club from Manchester United. Oh, I don't know. Well, actually, I should know this. Who was Watford's top goal scorer in the 2009-10 season? I was a little bit older at that point, but I wasn't going to Watford regularly. I only started going regularly, really, in like 14-15 time. That's when I got my season ticket, and I was going week in, week out. But before that, I was only going really sporadically with my family. So, who was Watford's top goal scorer? Definitely wasn't Tom Cleverley, because he's not particularly renowned for scoring goals. Don't think it was Hyder Helgeson. Wasn't Henry Lansbury. It's got to be Super Danny Graham, surely. Absolutely. Graham led the way with 14 goals. Oh, there you go. It actually says Tom Cleverley scored 11 goals in that season. Wow. I didn't know Tom Cleverley scored that many. That's really interesting, actually. 11 goals for Tom Cleverley. That is, yeah, a good stat, to be fair. The last question. Oh, okay. How many Watford players were named in the Euro 2020 squads? So you got to remember, this was the delayed Euros. So it was in 2020, got delayed to 2021. This is hard. I don't think we had many. Because Watford tend to have, or at least in the past, we used to have quite a lot of African players. So a lot of players would have gone off to the African Cup of Nations, the likes of Ismail Assar, Messina, again, loser players like that would all go off to AFCON. Truster Kong as well when he was at the club. So I don't think we had loads. I think the answer is 2. I don't know why, but I think, who would it have been? 2 players at Euro 2020. I mean, I don't know who it would have been. I mean, I'm probably forgetting some big names here. But I think 4 and 6 just seems like too much for Watford at that time. So I'm going to go with 2. Yes, Daniel Batman and Ken Sema. Ah, okay. I remember that now. Yeah, Daniel Batman, of course, of Austria. He was their #1 goalkeeper, isn't anymore. And then Ken Sema with Sweden. Ken Sema, I have to say, is a fantastic servant, both at Watford and for his national team. Yeah, he really, really is. But let's get the results of the quiz to see how well we done. Well, we're being called a champion here. Played 20, got 16 correct first time, 3 questions correct on the second going, and we got 1 question wrong overall there. So, yeah, we certainly didn't do too bad at all. Thank you very much for watching on your Christmas day. I hope you got all the presents that you asked for, and I hope you haven't had too many arguments with your family and friends over board games. I'm certainly going to go and eat a lot of food myself, and yes, I found this very, very enjoyable to do actually. So if you want to see more things like this in the future, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow on Boxing Day as Watford take on Portsmouth at Vicarage Road. Hopefully, fingers crossed, looking to pick up another victory. Bye-bye.